Aaron Boyle, and this is Dialing In with Aaron, brought to you by Hoyle Board Company, where we bring you the latest news on snowboard tips, tricks, and gear reviews. Over the next few weeks, we're going to do a series of videos covering how to buy a snowboard. During these videos, we'll get into all sorts of details and tech regarding different snowboards, so the next time you're getting ready to buy a snowboard, you'll have the information you need to buy the board best for you. We'll cover how to figure out the right size snowboard, the basics of sidecut snowboard construction, differences in board flex, and that magical world of camber profiles, different board shapes, and ultimately the nitty-gritty technical differences that affect how each snowboard is going to ride. But first, let's cover some basics that every snowboard salesperson should go over with you before you start to look at any snowboard you may intend to buy. This is what I call profiling, or I guess more politically correct would be rider profile. So what is rider profile? Well, it's basically figuring out what kind of snowboarder you are and what kind of snowboarding you want to do. There are a lot of differences between how certain boards are going to ride. So it's important to know what kind of riding you want to do before you buy a snowboard. Because we want to make absolutely sure that you know how to buy a snowboard that is perfect for you and will make you feel like Shawn White in the park or on the hill. Now, there are specific questions that the so-called expert you're talking to at the local discount shop should be asking you before he or she, respectively, ever pulls out a snowboard for you to look at. You know, it's like the first date. You kind of get to know each other a little bit before you talk about marriage. So, here's the first question. How long have you been riding? Is this going to be your first season, or have you been riding for 100 years? This is important because some boards are definitely going to be easier for the beginner rider to learn on, just as some are going to be better for more experienced riders. And then for most of us riders that are somewhere in between. Now, this is not the time to exaggerate and make it look like you've been riding longer than you really have. You answer these questions right, and the professional you're talking to will be able to match you with the perfect board for where you are right now, and trust me, you're going to have way more fun on the hill. Now, second question, what kind of riding do you want to do? There are big differences between boards, besides just the graphics, I know it sounds crazy, and the type of riding that you want to do is going to be pretty important with which board you want to buy. So, for example, let's say that you want to spend a lot of time in the terrain park. What specifically do you think you'll be doing the most in the park? Are you going to be spending most of your time jibbing, hiking rails and boxes, or are you going to be trying to hit big kickers? Maybe some of you are pipe shots. Some of you may even or may not even want to go to the mountains. You may be looking for a street-specific snowboard. Even within freestyle or park boards, there are a lot of differences. So the more specific you can get with what you want to do on the board, the more you'll be able to dial in what board to get. Now, let's say you don't want to spend any time in the park. If you're looking for more of like a free ride or just cruising around kind of board, there's differences between those as well. Surfing what it comes down to is how aggressive of a board do you want. Do you want a board that's going to be super responsive, hard charging, or a surfy, mellow, cruising type board? And then there's a lot of you who are going to want a board that does a little bit of everything. And there are certainly a lot of those out there. A good all-around board may not be the best for park or the best for free ride, but it'll be good at everything. What I would consider an all-mountain board. A lot more to think about than you thought, huh? That's probably because the last time you went to buy a board, the salesperson asked you a couple questions, then walked over to a board, picked it up, and put it next to you to see if it fit in that right size zone between your pits and your chin. Well, my friend, if that has been your experience, then you definitely need to watch this series of videos, so you'll know a lot more about how to buy a snowboard. Because you more than likely are not having the fun that you could be having on the slopes or in the park. And these questions are not just to determine what kind and size boards you'll need for your riding style. The rider profile is also going to help us determine what bindings, what boots do you want to purchase for your setup. So that's the first step, covering the basics with rider profile. In the upcoming videos, I'll be getting more into detail on how to buy a snowboard, covering why certain boards are going to ride different from other boards, and why you need to seek out a professional to help you pick out the perfect board for you, and not the salesperson at the local discount store that uses the right size zone. We'll get into how to choose the right bindings, the right boots, and even some great stuff on helmets, goggles, and the rest of the outerwear that will not only make sure you're the sickest boarder on the slopes, but you're warm and dry. So stay tuned to Hoyle Board Company YouTube channel, and do me a big favor, like our videos, share them with your friends, because you think what I'm telling you is the best information out there. Write a comment, or better yet, get on the big stage and do a video response, because we really want to know what you have to say. You might even give us some ideas for future videos, and then you can brag to all of your friends that we did a video just because you asked for it. So keep it dialed in, and until next time, keep it fresh.